What's up guys, it's the 343 Meat Slobber here with another video, and I just have to tell you that this one will be a doozy because if you play games on your phone, you aren't a hardcore gamer. That's right, today we'll be looking at a video from none other than upper echelon gamers. Casual and mobile gamers are helping ruin games. But for real though, gatekeeping the word gamer is just so cringe, and I actually hate to identify myself as a gamer now because of stupid fucks like these. And I know a lot of people at this point in the video tend to click off, so the point of this video is whatever you're playing on, you're still a quote-unquote gamer. So enough cringe, let's just get into this beautiful masterpiece of a YouTube video.
Ready? I'm going to open with a provocative statement. If the primary device that you play games on is a phone, you are not a gamer. Oh no! There we go. Probably about 10% of viewers will now dislike the video without watching any further, and that's fine. We call them the filthy casuals, if you will. They don't like harsh opinions, they don't like hearing the truth, they don't like spending 6 hours on a raid to get the best rewards in the game, they just want to log into Angry Birds while they sit on the toilet, complete a few levels, and then call themselves a gamer and expect consideration within the industry as a whole.
Okay, what's wrong with that? Angry Birds is still a video game at the end of the day, and if they call themselves a gamer, they probably play more than just that. They probably own a console or play it on PC.
Alright, I'm joking, but only partially, that's the thing. The casualization of games is all too real, and today I want to explore why it is happening and how far it has already come.
Money.
There are a few different causes for the oversimplification of modern video games. The primary cause is the rise of mobile gaming. Mobile gaming has now surpassed the combined revenue values of both the console and PC platforms, and there is no end in sight. Subsequently, as more and more studies emerge, and as the popularity of mobile games further increases, the collective term gamer has now evolved to a point where it includes, for instance, those that play Idle Miner Tycoon on their phones while sitting in a bus seat waiting for the next stop.
This was uploaded in 2019, I know, old video, but stupidity doesn't have an expiration date. But with this pandemic happening for 2 years now, gaming is bigger than ever, with numbers rising daily. So with more people coming into the gaming industry, it's going to become more and more casual. I love this mentality of, oh, casuals are ruining the gaming industry. It's kind of like the same mentality that console fanboys have when they say like other people shouldn't play a certain game because they didn't buy my favorite piece of plastic. Also, this is mostly due to China going towards a more mobile gaming market, which, by the way, is one of the countries that have one of the biggest say in the gaming industry. But from your own source, gaming in revenue has gone up. You used 2018's since you recorded and uploaded this in 2019, but even here in 2021, revenue has only gone up by 1% in the mobile market. But also notice how consoles went up to 3%. Sure, in like 2019, consoles started to dominate the market, and yes, it is because more people are becoming more and more casual when it comes to gaming. It's not for the reason you think, it's because people nowadays want more convenience over the title of hardcore gamer.
Projections of gamer demographics now include Candy Crush players, or those that play Temple Run, and as the mobile industry climbs and climbs, it continues to exert its influence over the products that real gamers have come to know and love. So by this point, a lot of people are probably thinking, wow, this guy's a real asshole, he's just a butthurt nerd who doesn't like his hobby being opened up to more people, which would kind of be true, I guess, but the argument here is that there are two distinctly different groups within the broader market of gaming that are being blended together right now, and it is having a decidedly negative effect. The two groups are the casual and the hardcore. These terms are often mistakenly defined or left nebulous, but there is a very simple litmus test. Would you spend hours on end failing to complete a certain activity over and over, while slowly adapting your tactics, progressing your character, or streamlining your communication with group members to finally overcome the obstacle? Or, alternatively, would you play 15 minutes of that, say, this is too hard for me, and go back to rudimentary puzzle games on your phone that take 10 seconds to solve?
This is also coming from the guy that said the Marauders from Doom Eternal are too hard. Don't believe me? Listen to him say it himself.
The horrible part is that they also have a completely invulnerable red shield that they can pull out in a split second whenever they want, which effectively makes you waste what little ammo you have left, especially at the tail end of a multi-wave encounter, and if you die, you have to do the whole thing again. These Marauders are also insanely fast, deal a ton of damage, and have a boatload of health. All of it combines to make an encounter that just sucks. I know some contrarian edgelords in the comment section will be like, well, you just need to do this and that and the other thing and blah blah, get good, scrub. Well, sure, whatever.
But go off, I guess, Mr. Hardcore Gamer. I mean, he does know that if this was actually true, no one would have bought the Demon Souls remake and wouldn't be on hands and knees for Sony to release a 60 FPS patch and a PC release for Bloodborne.
Hardcore gamers can be grouped together based on their willingness to invest time and effort into difficult tasks that may lack instant gratification. Grinding is a term coined within the gaming industry that refers to the process of completing certain activities over and over for incremental rewards that, given time, allow a player to achieve their goals. If you embrace that term, understand its necessity and the mindset required for it, you are a hardcore gamer. It does not matter if you devote 1 hour per day or 12 hours per day. Hardcore is a mindset, not a time check.
Keep that same energy.
Man, Griffin was right. This clip can be used for almost anything.
If you do not see the appeal, necessity, or value of grinding, if you view each game you enter through the lens of why can't I just have the rewards right now, why do I actually need to do something for them, then you are a casual. Again, time is not a restrictive factor. You could play 10 hours per day bouncing from game to game, playing a few minutes, getting frustrated, bored, and quitting, and you would still be a casual gamer. With the mobile industry booming and the casual audience growing faster than ever before, game development studios are attempting to capitalize on this new potential audience. And as they try, games that once held difficulty, satisfaction, and value become pale shadows of their former selves, and many new titles released become childlike, oversaturated blobs of color that fork over rewards faster and faster, intent on keeping children and casuals interested just long enough to rake in the profits.
What are you talking about? I hope you had the same mindset when playing Doom Eternal. Like, holy shit, this guy is a walking contradiction.
Children and casual gamers, for the most part, believe in instant gratification and often have far less patience than hardcore players. This leads them to be susceptible to microtransaction shops and loot boxes, which further degrades the industry as development teams cater to their preferences with increasing consistency.
That's kind of the point though. They would stop doing this if it wasn't making any money. But obviously, the only people who hate this business practice is you and people who share your mentality. Like you said, it's a mindset.
On the flip side, decisions are often made to increase the grind for that small remaining group of hardcore players, to take what would have been a respectable timetable for earning rewards and jack it up to such a height that even the most hardcore grinders will likely consider forking over some extra cash to speed things up. And therein lies the true horror of casual versus hardcore. Think of a game like World of Warcraft. The once unimpeachable industry titan has slid so far it is nearly unrecognizable. To be clear, by comparison to other MMOs of the time and before, World of Warcraft was already casualized to some degree, but even then it still had a very different face then and now. Any players out there who played vanilla World of Warcraft will attest to how, compared to today, relatively speaking, how difficult it truly was. The leveling process was a legitimate grind. Dungeons held real difficulty, and raids were a task unlike any other, where most groups and guilds failed again and again, but success felt euphoric and gave a sense of accomplishment that to this very day remains a highlight in many gamers' lives. I remember working for days to earn gold. Gold mattered. Gold actually meant something. Getting your fastest mount was one of the most satisfying moments in gaming history. But jump forward through time, past the various expansions, past the casualization, past the deterioration of Blizzard and the rise of casuals within the industry, and what do we have? A game that is nearly unrecognizable. Gold is now meaningless. High-level characters can simply be bought for real-world dollars rather than taking days or weeks of grinding to produce. Raids have become easier and easier, so much so that public groups thrown together by a matchmaking feature can now complete them, a feat that never would have been possible in the early days. And all this is not wrong on principle. Expanding the accessibility of a game to bring in a larger player base is not wrong in and of itself, but doing so to the detriment of your existing and loyal fans, That is wrong.
Sure, but you're also wrong. For anyone who's ever actually played World of Warcraft and bought their character to max level knows that it will just drop you into a story point to where if you're new and you don't know how to play the game, you'll have no fucking clue what you're doing. Also, most people who still play WoW are the committed fans, and most have maxed like 6 different characters at this point. So how is it detrimental to their existing player base?
Now take a look at the Halo and then the...
I'm going to skip this part of the video because he just goes on to say how beating Halo on Legendary makes you a legend yourself. Then moves on to Destiny 2 with how raids are now more accessible for new players or more casual players, and it's a bad thing.
Now let's shift gears and take a look at Call of Duty. Over the years, the franchise has evolved from a tactical, fast-paced, strategic first-person shooter, where map knowledge, positioning, and player skill were key, to a veritable slot machine, where players spawn, run, and either get a quick kill on an unaware target, or are themselves the one killed from behind. The maps are designed for fast-paced, nearly luck-based close-quarters combat, where mashing the respawn button and going right back in without thinking has become the widespread norm. Of course, there are exceptions. There are skilled players who think tactically about how they wish to proceed, but just know if you are a Call of Duty player who averages high on the stat charts, who actually cognitively thinks about their next move, and tackles the game with a pointedly strategic mindset, you are above average and far from the norm.
Okay, but how I remember old school Call of Duty is that campers always had the advantage. So isn't turning COD into a fast-paced shooter a better way to get rid of campers? I mean, sure, they're still gonna be there, but I think it's a bad thing when I think of older COD multiplayer, and that's the most memorable thing.
The casualization of gaming is widespread and takes many different forms. The concept of normalization, which can be seen in games such as the upcoming Division 2, is a tactic used to compress the skill gap and eliminate ways in which hardcore players exert an advantage over casual players. An argument can be made that the Division is a looter shooter and gear has far too much influence on player power, and that argument is true, but alongside normalization, there were pointed efforts in the original Division game to decrease the gap between headshot damage and body shot damage numbers. The decision was made, however it was reached, to take a skill-based damage multiplier and reduce it so that players with less skill and worse aim would be better able to defeat players that have more skill and better aim. Across the board, decisions are being made to compress the skill gap and normalize player involvement because the enemy of a casual player's experience is effort and subsequent skill from that effort. To give credit where credit is due, the Division 2 has also opted to include a special area called the Occupied Dark Zone, where all the casual systems are turned off. And that decision and concept is one I cannot praise enough. It is a wonderful, welcome, and appreciated thing to see a game at least create a small slice of content for true hardcore players, but the sad truth is that it's just a small slice, and it is not present in most modern games. Wherever you land on the spectrum of casual to hardcore, I will again emphasize it as a mindset. It is not time-bound. It is not a term referring to the players who play X amount of hours per day or something similar to that. It solely correlates to a player's mentality. If you are receptive of hard work, improving, learning, and oftentimes failing in pursuit of victory, you are likely a hardcore gamer. If you are impatient, motivated by instant gratification with no desire to sink in effort or work to acquire rewards, if you have the expectation that anything difficult for you to overcome needs to be reworked or removed from the game entirely, whatever game it is that you play, you are likely a casual. And if all you play is mobile games on your phone, you're not even a gamer, and this does not correlate to you because you simply don't count and should not be considered when it comes to the balancing of PC and console games. Anyways, that's about it for today. I'm sort of
I honestly feel like the Division 2 stuff was irrelevant, and it's also where I checked out in this video, but it's also where his video ends. So if you like this video, why not press the like button? It really helps out the channel, and comment down below what you think. Are you a hardcore gamer, or are you a filthy fucking casual? With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.